Hello? Wendy, do you read me? Okay, I know you asked for this recording like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, but hey, even if I'm dead, that doesn't make me any less forgetful. So it's been about 6 months since you, Viridian, Cerise, and Jet took on the case of my death. Yeah, which really sucked, by the way. Really bad. Anyways, the street of Itaewon hold many factions on top of you guys, like the executives, the military, the fairies, the cops, the mafia, the cult with the 2 names that nearly killed Wendy, and, there's a lot going on. So not only did it turn out I was viciously murdered using shadow and flesh magic, but an orphan like Jet was selling drugs that was basically vampire catnip, where the main side effect was a taste for organs, which was also changeling magic apparently, which pissed off the fairies, so humans were running around Itaewon with anti-vampire, anti-masquerade, big organ-eating magic through their veins. Remember when you guys took my body from the temporary morgue and then hypnotized a bunch of nurses or something? That was when Cerise took a bite out of my heart, and then I was sort of spiritually attached to them for a weird, spicy few days. Anyway, then it turned out that I was murdered by the girl that was experimenting with Jet's blood because the old lady who got you guys the case in the first place was going to create a power vacuum where she was the one who was going to get everything. We're talking all the factions permanently mad at each other. We're talking information on the orphans. We're talking armadillo levels of cop behavior. Camarilla, whatever. Viridian finally told Cerise that she loved them. Cerise found the lover boy cop they had been looking for. Ted says he was accidentally a part of the original efforts of the Second Inquisition.
Ew!
And Jet blew up Ophelia with light.
Ah!
Yeah, those were the days. I still don't think my parents know I wasn't accidentally cremated, but that's a whole emotional ordeal I'll have to put myself through, and I don't really feel like it. Anyway, hope this helped. Bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Itaewon By Night Season 2, Episode 1, over officially at Bad House RPG. Thank you for waiting. Just like always, meet us after the break for Bad House and Itaewon By Night announcements. As a wonderful reminder, we have a tip menu, which you can also use channel points. $10 is a reroll, with which the player characters can take the higher result. $20 is a flashback, which can let players rewrite history, which we all know, maybe would have been helpful for a couple things. Our usual content warnings for the show can be found by whichever the Twitch command is now at this moment. As a reminder, our usual content warnings have stayed the same for the show. Expect substance use, emotional and memory manipulation, induced memory loss and infatuation, disappearances, historical themes of real-world war and colonization, and other dark themes. Take care of yourself first. Between the last session and the beginning of the second season, everyone received a total of 20 XP, so you can expect the Kindred to be beefed the fuck up. My name is Josephine. I will be your storyteller for tonight. I'm at Scary Dog Friend, and here are my little vampires. I'll pass it over to Youngles.
Hi, I'm Youngles/Jen. I play Wendy. We both use they, she pronouns, and you can find me at Jen Geeky on Twitter to see what I'm doing, because that's who knows. And I will pass it up to Hamna.
Oh, you're muted.
No, you're muted.
No.
Fuck! What is happening? Okay, it's all good. Hello, everybody. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me over on Twitter at LilithTTRPG. That's right, I've rebranded since the first season, where I talk about all of the different projects that I'm a part of. But tonight, I am super excited to be playing Cerise Shaheen, who uses they, them pronouns. And you will learn a little bit more about what they've been up to tonight. But for now, I will pass it over to my sire, Jay.
Hi everybody, my name is Jay Urnala.
My pronouns are they, them, and tonight I am reprising my role as Verdian Song, who uses they and she pronouns, and I'm so excited to be back. And I'm gonna pass it to Fabian, who is also our lovely producer. Look at this layout, you guys, it's so good.
Thank you. Howdy, everybody. My name is Fabs. Tonight I'll be playing Jet. A lot of things that happened during the 6 months, you'll find out. But yeah, you can find me at Rockets and Pens if you want to check out my comic stuff, and here at Bad House RPG for my other games that I both play and produce and storytell.
Thank you, Jordan, for the wonderful gift subs, and also for Chris with the reroll for Fabian and Hamna, and Youngles, and Viridian. Candace with the one for Wendy and Viridian. Thank you, everybody. They're going to need it.
So many rerolls.
Thank you, C.
know.
Yes,
I
my
know.
cursed dice luck is probably gonna kick my ass tonight.
Okay. So, to wrap us back into the scene, the moment, let me give you a little bit of an exposition. Welcome to 20XX Itaewon, the International District Gay Village of Seoul, and as of 6 months ago, the unearthed hellmouth for the global supernatural migration. It is spring in Seoul. What that means for the usual Seoulite is temperate weather, cherry blossoms, new semesters, the summer fashion line from Rin Pierce, and spring-themed K-pop comebacks. Children's Day was a few weeks ago, and every person who still counts as a child under their parents' care has wrung out their allowance completely. Young men don couple outfits with their spring sweethearts, drinking iced Americanos and quitting smoking cold turkey. The girls obsess over the next sapphic-coated idol that makes them question their sexuality. Their immigrant classmates spent Christmas by themselves, unfortunately, but once they found out about each other over the winter break, they now go to the PC Bong to... Oh, they play Valorant together. The drinking games are all the same. The usual drag queens finish up their day jobs. New houses and churches are built under highways. Face stickers come in curious branding packets with a white snake. The local bakes seem to be still suffering a blow to a massive drop in shareholders. The local hometown hero and his brother are still missing, as their mother never ceases to look for them. A permanent change of station has already passed, and new soldiers study Korean and their status of forces agreement rights. Just one more note about the living while we're here, related to our story. The previous chief superintendent general of the Yongsan precinct is MIA, leaving the senior superintendent general in charge until the next appointment ceremony in a month. The US soldiers that were part of the efforts to introduce the coalition through the Korean police have moved. Some of them. But their connection seems to have suddenly been uprooted. Not everyone in the kindred community was aware their own lives were in danger, but after a few alleviated cases, perhaps the synthesized goblin fruit known as bloodroot was nipped in the bud as a community effort. The heir to Min Financial disappeared after the sudden death of the progenitor, leaving a surprising amount of assets to an unknown source. A man of some resemblance is in need of a defense attorney. An American family wants the body of their son they're never going to get back home. Insight into San Francisco and its Camarilla residents steadily comes onto the horizon. We follow the kindred of Itaewon now in a nebulous timeline between this spring and last fall. With the power of alchemy, our vampires have gotten haircuts and tattoos. We'll cut into about 3 months ago. We're in a car on the highway, traveling in between whatever highways really exist in Seoul. In between meetings, the busy Viridian song is, are you in the back of this incredible car, or are you sitting right next to your new ghoul?
I think Viridian always rides in the back.
Okay. Viridian, are there any noticeable changes about your appearance that you want to talk about?
I don't believe so. I think Viridian keeps their hair and general look about the same. Out of character funny, me, the player, has started wearing colors besides green. So that's the character development there. And I think Viridian, like, as it turns to spring, Viridian's colors do get, I think, a little bit more colorful versus in the winter time. I think they stick to darker greens, blues, black, classic suit color. But in the spring, I think we see more white, pink, and red, and other shades of lighter blue, etc. But other than that, Viridian doesn't have any noticeable appearance changes.
Okay. The driver at the driver's seat, making his way into Seoul traffic, even at night, which seems to be bad, is a very familiar, very sad sack of shit looking Ted, or Theodore, as Viridian has taken to calling him, as he now has to call Viridian ma'am. Theodore, with his new ghoul status, as sort of a rite of loyalty, rite of life. He has not acclimated very well. He keeps trying to sleep, which Viridian, in response, I'm sure, however you'd like to go about it, he is awoken to many a phone call about where the fuck is he?
Yeah, I think, like, there's, like, a scene where, several times throughout these past 3 months, Viridian's calling Ted to try to get a hold of him, and he's not answering his phone. And when he finally does pick up after, like, 3 or 4 phone calls from either Viridian or Calliope, and Viridian's like, "Hey, where, like, where are you?" And Ted's like, "I'm sleeping." And Viridian reminds him, or Calliope reminds him again and again, "You are a ghoul now. You do not need to sleep. And frankly, if you're working for me, you don't have time to sleep. So get up."
Ted is stretched thin. But he does find himself with a rejuvenized, rather than rejuvenized, more galvanized to do a bit better these days. As he is driving, fiddling with the GPS built into the car, he looks into the rearview mirror, kind of attempting to not get eye contact with you, but just trying to see your expression, try to get kind of an insight check, so to speak, on you. But he is not able to find anything in particular.
I think it's because Viridian is on. I think they have a tablet open, and they are reading through some emails. And I think there's one email from like an anonymous source, but Viridian knows who it is. And this email is talking about the movement of the coalition out of Itaewon. They've moved their eyes elsewhere. And I think Viridian looks up into the mirror and sort of catches Ted's gaze.
He looks away.
And Viridian has the smallest crooked smirk on her face, and she says, "Oh, Theodore, nice job planting that new evidence, getting rid of that problem. You're doing well."
Sure thing, boss. So, do you mind telling me, I don't know why he's Southern, sorry. Do you mind telling me, where exactly are we going?
We're going to meet some very important people, Itaewon.
The important people that maybe kill ghouls or something? Anything I have to worry about?
No one's going to kill you, Theodore. If anyone's going to kill you, it's me.
I mean, that's kind of what I've been on edge about for 3 months. But I get it. I get it. Wendy and I have been, I mean, if you want the status report right now,
Go ahead. And Viridian turns the tablet off and I think replaces the cover on the iPad or whatever.
Ted,
Whatever kind of
seemingly
tablet.
from his memory, the latest purge, so to speak, we managed to get 8 people moved from the Yongsan garrison that, you know, still, I believe Wendy when they say they have bad vibes, but I don't know what that means. But did you want the list?
Viridian's just kind of looking at him like, yes. And
Okay.
probably does a little hand motion.
Ted is doing a no and sort of texting the list to you from what seems to be a readily available file.
While
And
driving?
while driving.
Okay, Viridian will just, I think, snap her fingers at him and say,
Oh my god.
focus, drive. And
Yes,
then like
ma'am.
just squeezes the the temples of their forehead.
And the following names pop up, just to list a few. Battalion
Mhm.
Maintenance Officer, George Statham. Armor Officer, Barbara Q. Infantry Officer, Henry O. IT Specialist, Polly Killing. IT Specialist, Isabella Kazmarek. Human Resources Specialist, Grace Kwan. The list seems to go on. A fairly, what you assume, maybe you think it's an impressive list of people to move so suddenly. But yeah, there's been either some mention, some suspicious bit in their pasts that involved some recent US efforts that seemed out of their wheelhouse, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. I think Viridian's looking at all of these names that Ted has somehow managed to type with lightning fast, newly rejuvenated 60-year-old
No.
old man
He
fingers.
sent you a file that.
Oh!
Yeah,
He
sent you
was
a file.
typing the names.
No.
I see. Okay.
Still don't send
okay.
files when you're driving, but
Yeah. Well then, Viridian's just looking over these names, and I think these are names that have popped up in Viridian's meetings with other people looking into them who are looking into possible vampiric activity in South Korea. Seeing that all these people have moved on. I think we see Viridian just smiling to themselves as they close the file, and I think we can see the stress kind of leaving Viridian. The Second Inquisition is very dangerous, and now that it's less of a problem due to, well, having control over someone on the inside. One Theodore Beaver, if I may. And so Viridian closes the file and puts the tablet away and looks at Ted through the rearview mirror and just says, "Good work."
there's like a chill kind of go down what seems to be like his left shoulder. You're not sure if it's like disgust but maybe his face is just contorted in that sort of way. I mean, no problem. I was already very much violating the sofa curfew, but now I'm all in. I'm all in.
You better be.
Again, sort of like, I mean, if you want to do an insight check on
I would
our
love to do an
little
insight
Ted,
check
of
on
course,
this sad,
this is D&D
sad
now.
sack of shit.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dragons.
What would you like me to roll?
Yeah. I'll let you do manipulation if you kind of want to gaslight him with your eyes in the rearview mirror.
I would love to gaslight him with my eyes in the rear mirror.
In your new game is manipulation plus insight. Just get him out. Just get the truth out.
Lovely. Can I use my
Your reroll?
well, actually, I'm not really. No, I'm not gonna reroll. My lie detection specialty.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, lovely. Oh, and I need to rouse my blood, so I'll do that first too. Okay.
You kill Ted.
Okay. I failed that, so I am at hunger 2.
Okay.
So now let me roll this. How does this game
could
work?
go
It's
so
going
bad.
so poorly. Okay, four dice and then 2 hunger die. Okay. That is 3 successes out of that very large dice pool.
I think easy enough. Ted is just depending on the type of person you are. You've been dealing with a lot of old men, unfortunately, just in a business lens.
Yeah.
Ted shivered out of a fear for his life. He's been terrified pretty much for 3 months. There was an entire. I think when you first was beginning to turn Ted into a ghoul. I think the only thing you were tasting was just guilt and shame, and whatever flavor palette that has to Viridian.
That white guilt. Yum yum.
Exactly.
Yum yum good.
Presumably from the 20 years of fucking Wendy's life over. It is now turned into immediately 3 months of fear. But he seems to, he needs to do this. And he doesn't seem to want to break out of it anytime soon. Which is good for you.
I think, yeah. It is very good for me. I think Viridian catches a little bit of that fear. I still have the bloodhound thing, so I think Viridian can smell the fear. And I think Viridian's eyes flash red, and they hold Ted's gaze for a moment, and Viridian just kind of like sighs at him, and she says, "Oh, Theodore, I said it before, I'll say it again. If I wanted to kill you, I would have done so already. You are useful to me, and you will keep your new unlife for as long as you remain useful to me. You understand?"
I didn't say anything.
You didn't have to.
Fuck. And I think he just kind of slams his fingers against the console on accident and then clumsily just turns the radio on. To be polite or have etiquette, he does nod kind of wordlessly, and the terrified man
So polite.
continues. What?
So polite. Oh, I said, oh, so polite.
So polite, yes.
And I think Viridian just settles back, has a very relaxed body posture, and they look out the window and sort of mentally are preparing themselves for this next meeting. I think running over the names of the people who are going to be here. A lot of them very influential figures in the business sphere of Kindred in Itaewon, covering a whole range of industries. And I think the rest of the ride is in silence. Except for the radio. What is Ted listening to? What does he put on?
I think he wasn't picking up anything in particular, so it seems to be local news.
Oh? Is there anything interesting on the news, Joe?
Um,
Any plot threads?
no, I'm kidding. Of course, the biggest case of this winter spring season, Kim Kangmin's parents are making a big fuss, understandably so. The news states that there is a very big lawsuit case internationally against the morgue, which was the morgue that Kangmin's body was stolen from by who knows who. It was you guys.
False. Fake news.
And from what you remember, what you've been given as far as information goes, from Ted, presumably, is they're going to make it the US military's problem. At this point, have you had your little meeting with Kangmin's parents?
I think Viridian has planned it. It hasn't happened yet. I think it's on the docket for like this week. And hearing it on the news, I think Viridian just feels a sense of like, oh, I need to get that problem solved really quickly because they're looking for the body. We had a very paper-thin lie about the body was accidentally cremated over, so it makes sense that the parents would sue the morgue because what a terrible mistake for someone to make. However, Kangmin, having been an employee of Song International Shipping at one of my warehouses, Viridian, I think, is concerned that Kangmin's parents will turn their gaze to Viridian, so they are going to try to nip this in the bud, as the young people say.
You get a phone call.
Viridian picks up their phone. Which, yes.
It seems to be from a number not in your phone specifically, but you figure your location. A young woman's voice is on the other side. Ms. Song, could we get your ETA?
I look out the window. How because I know the city really well. How far am I?
Do you want to be on time, or are you fashionably a little late?
I think Viridian's a little late only because I think Ted is Ted.
Okay, great. So we'll say that you're going to be 10 minutes after.
Okay. I think Viridian just says, I will be there in about 10 minutes. Please excuse my tardiness. My driver is, new.
Ted kind of wheezes to himself. Understandable from what seems to be like an assistant or secretary. We await your arrival. And then the line clicks.
And I think Viridian doesn't necessarily know what this meeting is about either, which is kind of why they're just like trying to prepare for everything. I think the executives all do get together to meet, but given the events of the past 3 months or so, there's a lot up in the air right now. And so Viridian doesn't know what to expect.
Okay. Any last sort of words with Ted before he dies? I'm just kidding. Before our little vignette with you wraps up.
I don't believe so. I think
Okay.
Viridian is now has moved their focus from this sad, pitiful man whose hair is now gone, that lovely gray blonde color, you know, the ashy blonde, and is now focused on like prepping for this meeting.
Okie dokie. We pan over to another sort of nebulous time. Wendy, you are walking along, we'll say Hangang, if you would like, or just general streets. What matters is that there are cherry blossoms all around you. Your niece, Hain, is sort of looped her arm around yours as she is excitedly talking about the new classes that she's going to be taking for the semester. However, how long has it been since you have properly hung out with Hain in person?
Probably a while because I've been traveling, so this probably is the first time I've seen her since even before last season.
And what changed from last season? What do you look like now?
Wendy's grown up a little bit. Wendy has gone from Wendy has gone through the process in the past 6 months of kind of separating themselves from the person that they were when they got here to kind of now everything that's happened with the coterie. So Wendy has kind of been taken under the wing of Viridian and Cerise, which means Wendy's fashion has elevated. Wendy's ability to kind of take charge and really sink into like who they are has kind of happened, and they feel less like they're beholden to the whole Ted situation, so they're able to kind of step into their own self a little bit better than whatever they think that this person thinks that they should be.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hain, her hair is longer. It seems she is also extremely not immune to the spring, summer fashion trends that are on the rise. She's now dating that girl that she was talking about from last fall.
Aww.
She is probably has not had many positive models of romance in her life, so maybe you'll have to talk to her about a couple things. But she is bright, she is lovely, she is your niece, and she stops you very quick as your stroll just at the night. Oh, I completely forgot to tell you. I might be studying abroad to New York.
You're going to New York?
Yeah. It's for a civil engineering internship sort of thing. I'll be paid. It's a whole thing. I know my parents, we really, really talked about it because of, we didn't just become more affluent, or not that we are, just we didn't, the money, I had to work really hard, basically.
Yeah.
But I got it. And I'm thinking about the Manhattan internship.
That is amazing. You know, you're really gonna like it there.
Didn't you had a contact, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yep. I've contacts lots of places. Do you need help? Like settling in? Is like your girlfriend going with you? Like, what's the?
So we did just start dating, and I am going to go on this transnational internship, but I think our relationship will be fine. I'm 21. She's 21. It'll be completely fine.
Yes. It'll be great. And Wendy's just like, like not worth it. Not worth the conversation, Wendy. Let it go. Let it go.
I mean, I've like had a couple conversations with him and he was really helpful. Like surprisingly, I wasn't sure how much information would cross over.
Yeah.
But no, Samir has been really helpful.
Perfect. So you are going to New York. Do you need I know it's an internship. Are they paying you? Do you need a job?
Yeah.
Do you need Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And you have a place to stay and everything?
I was wondering if you could actually help me out with that part. Do you know any places?
Absolutely. Yes. Let me just hold on. And Wendy pulls out their phone and is just gonna send Viridian a text and is like, we have properties in New York, right? Like
And this was to Viridian, you said?
yeah, to Viridian.
Struggling to unmute so
I'm
quickly.
sorry.
Hear us?
Hello.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
The last thing
Tisk, tisk.
the last thing Viridian said was that they do know someone in New York.
I do know someone in New York. I don't think Viridian knows that it's the same person that Heian knows, right? Because Heian's contact is Samir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So Viridian doesn't know that it's the same person, but Viridian does know someone in New York. And so I think Viridian texts back. I think Viridian just texts back yes. Even though the answer is more complicated.
Wendy's gonna just like, okay, and then text, my niece needs a place to stay for school. Do you think we can help her out? Except obviously she's texting niece, but not saying it out loud in that moment.
Viridian texts back yes again.
Okay, and then I just like, because I have a fancy, cool, brand new Samsung flippy phone because I've been hanging out with Viridian now, so I'm all like fancy and tech like.
Yeah.
And Wendy, with very much smoothness that we did not see with Tech Wendy last season, flips their phone back closed, puts it in their pocket, still has the MP3 player in the other pocket, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And looks at their niece and is just like, yeah, no, it's all set. I got you. We'll get you set up.
That's it?
Yeah. I got a new job, so things have been
Oh shit.
a little different. So if you need anything ever, I mean, I can get there. I can be there. I can get you a helicopter. Maybe. I'd have to ask first, but I might be able to.
It's so weird. It's like, I don't know. It's so, you're like a few years older than me or something. So you're for sure my like 언니, but like,
right.
God, sometimes it just feels like you're my like aunt or something.
Well, that's what good undies do, right? We take care of our little, yep. So I I have to. Oh, geez, look at the time. It's. I've got things. Do you have things to do? I'm sure. So I'm gonna go do my things. Let me know if you need a ride to New York, though. I will definitely help you out. And then Wendy's gonna take out their phone again and is going to just wire transfer some money over to their niece and it's like, yeah, anytime, go buy yourself some, that good ramen I know that you like. So gonna.
She smiles and gives you a big hug.
Wendy awkwardly receives hug.
Gosh, we've been really struggling, and I don't know what it is about me and my family that you want to help so much, but I really appreciate it, Wendy.
Yeah, anytime. I only because of the goodness of my heart. Okay, we're gonna bye. And Wendy just kind of starts walking
Bye.
the other direction.
Incredible. Any last things for Wendy as the two of you part for that night? You part with more contact information as far as hand goes. This Samir, this name echoes on the wind. Anything else for Wendy?
I think Wendy is going to text Viridian again. Do I know that you were with Ted? Is that did this happen concurrently?
It can.
It can, yeah. I think more recently, ever since Ted has started working under me, I think Ted's been driving me around more, partially because Cal has told him to do so that he can get used to driving me, even though Cal knows I vastly prefer when Cal drives. So I think you would know that I've been going to tons of meetings, and you could probably make a educated guess that I'm with Ted at the moment.
Okay. So then as Wendy's walking away, Wendy will take their phone back out and text Viridian to let Ted know that we're going to need a security detail in New York to keep my family protected, if it's possible.
Cool.
Also, do you think maybe I could borrow the helicopter sometime soon? Perhaps.
I think Viridian texts back, okay, and yes.
Yes.
And then, I think after all of this, Viridian sends a little smiley face. Not an emoji, but the colon and the parentheses smiley face.
Amazing.
To you.
Incredible. The emotional growth.
I know. I'm such a good texter, you guys.
Incredible.
Look at us learning together.
We're learning and growing.
That wraps up for Wendy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We cut over now to another nebulous portion of the timeline. Jet, as far as where you're going, where you're meeting, you know who you're meeting. But however you're getting there by car, walking, whatever, give us, what does Jet look like? What is his new digs?
Okay. So Jet arrives there by car.
Okay.
Drives there as you see he exits his Nissan, and Jet is clean cut nowadays. Done were the days of the leather jacket, torn jeans, and pointy boots. Jet is actually sporting a linen shirt with a vest, some very casual pants, and he's wearing this sort of howdy with a symbol of seven circles and a snake in the middle. But he keeps his clothes business while everything else is party. Jet's hair got longer. No more not sporting the his classic well-known mullet this time. But also it is noticeable that he has a lot more tattoos, especially on the neck with the lotus tattoo peeking out of the shirt. You see a snake head near his chest, and his other arm is also quite covered. Sporting a lot of rings, as well, and dressing the part of the unfortunate role that he has been given by his one of his godmothers. He's also texting while walking toward this meeting place. You notice that his phone is on a bank account, which with an obscene amount of money, and what he's doing is transferring some funds from his personal account to Wendy. What is the name of your PI company? I forgot to ask that.
Oh man.
The Cleavers.
Yes. The Cleaver. No, it has to be. Leave it to Cleaver. Can it be
Yes.
LLC?
And you see,
Oh my god. I'm allergic to that name, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, literally.
and you see the transfer of the equivalent of about $100,000 to Leave It to Cleaver LLC, and then a text to Wendy saying this month's stipend for the business is transferred. Just got a meeting. I'll call you later. And he on the way to maybe an elevator, you see him kind of smiling to people, being courteous to a lot of people, and as soon as he gets on the elevator alone, he just drops the facade and just looks super tired and frustrated. It's just like, oh god.
The blessing and the curse that the previous heir to Min Financial, if Ophelia Min were to ever die, to which she did, Debbie gave you a boon or a bane or a curse or blessing, something, however it feels like to you sometimes. She left Itaewon, and what she left you with in particular were the deeds to a few properties, warehouses, wherever you'd like, honestly, art galleries, cafes, sort of your pick of the litter. And whichever you didn't take up, you distributed to whoever. Debbie's absence, her leaving, absconding rather, was unprompted, but you wonder if it really was. You wonder if maybe she was tired of it to the point that she would just leave everything to you, the person who was supposed to own at least some of this. We'll say that this location is one of those like royal casino hotels with horse racing, just crazy shit. The sound of slots and the kind of ambient murmur and screaming of drunk people at night. You make your way up this glass elevator, looking down at all the people under you, getting smaller. And you make it to the top floor. At this point, just to be on the same page, is the new heir appointed?
I think this is the meeting.
This is the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jet has previously, prior to this night, reached out to someone they are not super close to, but definitely more comfortable within the family. With six, it's six, right? 6 options.
Yep.
With 6 options, this one was the best for him.
When Ophelia died, when Debbie left, Min Financial was left in a stasis of control of representatives. Basically, Viridian was upset that her money was getting to her way too slow. So, within the coterie was an appointment of who would be this next Min Financial heir. It can't be you exactly, but basically. You make it to the top floor. This penthouse opens up, and there are, with presumably 2 guards, sort of making sure that this very special guest taken care of whatever she needed. And when you enter into this hotel room, you just see the most anxious woman in a beautiful fashionable pantsuit. Her hair is strung up in an updo. Everything about her is put together, but she looks like a Min. She looks like a doll, decorated, put together, joints sealed shut somehow, just sitting with years, hundreds, maybe even, of dread. This is Min Hyunmi, one of Ophelia's many other godchildren. She did work in the company. She was more of a secretarial role to some of her other older godchildren, god siblings. And she was always the anxious one, always sort of the angrier one, the one no one listened to, took for granted. And I think as soon as she sees you enter, the guards allowing you to enter into the room with her alone, she quickly, her face contorts into something of discomfort, sort of wrings her hands together. What are you Jet?
Auntie, yes, it's me, Jet. Thanks so much for meeting me tonight. I hope you're well taken care of. Jet takes out a lollipop, puts it in his mouth.
She like quirks an eyebrow at you.
It's just nerves. I'm not really used to this corporate lifestyle, as you know, and that's actually why I called you over here. Can I get you anything? And I think I called ahead of time to have a few vessels ready. I have a few fresh vessels if you need.
I came well prepared for that.
Okay. Well, if you change your mind, please let me know.
Okay. Well, and I think there's just sort of this naturally seated furrow in her brow. Can you give me the news fast? Am I being purged?
Purge? No. If anything, young Joel would be first on the chopping block. He's the most reckless out of you all. And more a danger to me. And my coterie, so...
To you?
Of course. Look,
Um,
you and
yes.
I, never the best relationship, but it seems like you don't resent me for Debbie's choice. I certainly do resent Debbie for her choice. Young
None of
Chul,
us
yeah,
asked for this.
exactly. Young Chul, however, is a little bit, what's the word? Entitled. And, entitlement does a lot of things to a person. I know I did a lot of crazy things thinking that I'm entitled to something. But that's in the past. Called you over here, send you an olive branch, and get things moving. Because it's also hitting mine as well. So, I probably take out a briefcase that has paperwork. You have the most experience with Min Financial. I may be a businessman, but running this kind of business is probably not my forte. And I'm not going to pretend. Nor am I interested. This is my olive branch to you. And I think some of the other godchildren agree that you might be the better suited option for this. You've earned it anyway.
Give me some kind of insight. It can be wits. It can be whatever.
I'm gonna first roll my
Give me the
rouse check.
rouse.
Got a 10.
Beauty.
Okay. And you want me to do wits and insight?
Insight.
It's not a lot of dice. 2 successes.
Not too difficult. Considering she was a bundle of nerves, she has something almost as if a puppet being let loose a little bit. When you, at the first few words that you said, Young Chul doesn't deserve the role. It's way more suited to you. It looks like you've said words to her that she's never heard before. Since she was given the classic Ophelia Min's Christmas present, she's had all this anger that she didn't know what to do with. Didn't want to pull it in anywhere that overstepped, got her own self into trouble. So she just sort of seems to settle into the idea, looking over at the paperwork, seemingly skimming over everything very fast.
At that point, they're gonna notice that a few galleries are off the property list, and Jet's just gonna pipe up. Just so you know, for transparency's sake, I kept a few of the galleries. I think those would be a few things that, Joe, are you okay? You're a little frozen.
We lost Joe.
Oh, damn. Well,
Joe's computer has restarted.
yes. In that case, we're gonna go on a quick tech break. We'll be back shortly. Enjoy the OBS. Fun times. Sorry about that. But yeah, before you cut, Jet was explaining that on the property list, there are a few galleries that he kept.
Okay.
And Jet was just saying, yeah, a few of these galleries seem more useful to me than everything else. And if you choose to disseminate to the other children, I'll leave that up to you. But yes, I kept a few of our, just a few properties for myself, and I hope you don't mind.
Well, all of these are, what's the word? Subsidiary interests of the Min family. But is there actually something in this for you other than the galleries?
For me,
What are the galleries for?
I'm a luxury drug dealer. I need to have
Oh.
parties for my clients, as well as providing a space for a colleague of mine to do their tattooing. So
Extremely forthcoming.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
She looks crazy. She feels crazy, and I think you see that. Like, this is so much trust, you know.
I get it. The guy who murdered your sire is in front of you right now and telling you that, hey, everything that I got from that, I'm giving to you. Trust may be a little dodgy, of course. Understandable. But, I want to start on a new foot. There's a lot of things that I want to protect. And I think working with the new head of the family might be advantageous to me. So,
What will our working relationship be like? What are your expectations of me?
my expectations of you is doing what you do best, and doing the job. And just letting me do what I do, just like the other kids.
The other half of the kids,
They're pretty
Don't-
fun,
they don't care.
unfortunately.
The bug for business or something passed Gina, and it went over to Young Chol, unfortunately. And you're gonna need to give me something with persuasion now.
I'll do manipulation.
You're figuring that it's not so much that Hyunmi at this point doesn't believe you necessarily. Some of it is too good to be true, but how fast of an answer she will give you will maybe be based on this roll.
Okay. So I get a crit. That's 4, 5,
Amazing.
6, 7.
Okay.
And a blank on my blood die, so.
Amazing. Flying colors for Jet. So I just own the company I have wanted to own.
Of course, yeah. No strings attached, obviously. I do have to say, I think the only thing that we need to work on together is if my jackass of a sire decides to come back from San Francisco. I was hearing something about Camarilla or whatever they call themselves. And the way that Debbie made it sound, they might pose a threat to our livelihood. So if any of us has word, we just stay open communication. And I know the Hino family has been giving you some trouble, so giving us some trouble. So I'm working on that.
It seemed as if she was very quickly able to get through the entire contract, like all the papers. And presumably she was able to process all of it. She sighs, still her bodily unsure of this being real. But you see her pick up a pen, start signing and initialing each page. luxury drug dealer for a nephew.
And as she signs, I gleefully sign an initial back. I have mine to take care of. And I think this is just going to be a hindrance to do that. And I don't want to be a disappointment like my sire. So I think it's in our best interest that you take the company and all the subsidiaries.
If our principles misalign, if there are any problems between us, this is my first time meeting you. I don't know what is going to happen with this. But I want this to work.
Of course. And as you notice in my signature, I never really took the name of Min. It's still my name. So anything that happens in my business is not going to be tied to yours. Does that sound fair?
It sounds insane. It sounds like a dream.
It's been an insane 6 months. I might be a little crazy.
Two great people running a bank together. What could go wrong?
More so you running a bank and me just being your support.
Okay. I accept.
I won't be needing this, and he throws his lollipop away.
Holy shit. Corks an eyebrow again.
Well, is there anything else that you need from me? My personal number, takes out a card.
Yes.
And like the thick ass card with like his symbol on it. And he has my number. I mean, day or night. Let me know if you need me.
You are like some... I can't tell if you are a demon or an angel.
Let's hope that I'm the latter for you. The prior is for my enemies, so.
I hope so too.
Please cheer up. You're becoming a new CEO. You've gotten what you earned.
I haven't been... I don't think I've even heard the words cheer up for the past however many decades.
Same. You know, it's the Asian parentage. It transcends countries. Back home, it's the same. Please.
Okay.
Live a little. And Jet snaps his fingers and calls in like a few vessels, like the people that he brought over with them. Please. They're not poisoned like the rumors. I'm not one of those orphans. And I think he definitely tailored it to Hyunmi's palate.
Probably resonances that calm her down.
Mm-hmm.
Probably really enjoys the blood of people that are just peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
You've given this woman who has never received a gift since her last Christmas gift, beaten down, angry for however long. She needs a lot of therapy. for this to really sink in for her, but you have given her this boon, and she hopes it isn't as much of a curse as it is on you. Are there any last things with Hyunmi?
With Hyunmi, no. And after the meeting is over, on his way back to the car, he texts Viridian, just a emoji of money bags, and then a gif of somebody just spreading money in the air, just making it rain.
Viridian, why is everyone texting me? Viridian will respond back. I think there's like a quick smash cut to Viridian receiving this text at some nebulous point in this timeline. And Viridian is just staring at their phone. I think they turn the phone to show it to Cal. And I think they're just like, what does, help, what does this mean? And I think Cal just looks at Viridian and would respond with something like, I think our problem has been fixed. And Viridian's just like, oh, okay. And then we'll text you back a thumbs up emoji and also texts you thank you.
Okay. Our last vignette before we finally make it to the crime line. Cerise, you are at your firm or courthouse, wherever you might find yourself in a meeting. You find yourself in the same room with a man who is leaned all the way back in his chair, just well dressed, but is creasing his elbows really hard, and the backs of his shoes have been stepped on, even though they're expensive. He is wearing sunglasses, his hair something slicked back, kind of. There's a general put together mess, mostly mess appearance, so to speak, about this character in front of you. But firstly, what does Cerise look like? What has changed?
Cerise is mostly the same. After all, you don't fix something that's not broken. They are sitting there in this, I think it's this pastel blue suit that they have on, and they've swapped out for this season all of the lace for something that's a little bit more fuzzy, a little bit more woolen, which might seem contradictory given that we're getting into warmer months, but it's all tank tops, all crop tops, all sort of very light wear despite the fabric itself. And they're sitting across from this man at this table with their long wavy golden bronze hair loose, and staring at him with a raised eyebrow as he is sitting like he's at fucking home while we're talking here. And I think across the table we have a variety of different files and folders kind of set out, and Cerise has a pen in one hand that they take and they kind of tap against their mouth a couple of times and then look over at this man. The one new thing that you will notice about Cerise is that they got their nose pierced. They decided that after all of this, maybe something should change about their clean cut look, and so they experimented a little bit. But otherwise, Cerise just kind of looks over at this man, one eyebrow raised. You seem quite at home for someone who's being charged with embezzlement across country lines.
Come on, Shaheen. This type of thing isn't so lost on me that I can't just feel at home. After all, it's been a while since I've been in the neighborhood. There's some people I'd definitely like to meet. And in front of you is young Chul Min, the fifth godchild of Ophelia, whose case has made it to your office.
Do you miss being here?
endeavors.
Is that it?
Oh. I didn't ever spend too much time here. This was more of a vacation spot.
Uh-huh.
All
Okay.
the-
Well, whoever it is that you're trying to visit, whoever it is that you want to meet, you can deal with that afterwards. Right now, I need to know all of the details of this situation you found yourself in.
Mm. What else? What else do we have on paper? We have all of the audits. We have all of the things. I didn't do it, or whatever.
Youngchul Shi. Apologies. You should know that I've been doing this long enough that I know that you being the client always lie to me. And I don't know why. After all, I'm here to defend you. I'm here to ensure that no harm befalls you, so this would go a lot faster if you would just be honest with me. Now, you've given me, and I think Sirius kind of like looks through all of the papers and rifles through the audit logs and whatnot, and the bank records and everything, and kind of like lays them out in front of Youngchul. You've given me these bank records from the relevant period, but I can't help but notice that the company, the funds, that everything is moving through, I don't have those records. And I need everything in order to help you. So if you're hiding something from me, if you're lying to me, I need you to know that that is not going to work out in your favor. So do us both a favor and just tell me everything.
It's charity.
Can you prove that with a paper trail?
A lot of, and I think he just starts to like pull out a crumpled up piece of paper in his back pocket and just kind of like tosses it to you. Charity, very busy that period. And it is, I don't think it's an official paper, but it is either, I think he's printed out an email with which he forgot to encrypt it, that this charity is actually his charity that he gave himself money through, but for some reason he just like isn't speaking directly, as if like everyone's hearing me kind of thing. But he, this is a ridiculous person in front of you who has existed for far too long. But just kind of goes, and just when he tosses it to you and finishes his thought, he just kind of shrugs.
And I think Cerise unfurls this paper, sees what it is, just kind of, okay. And they get up off of their desk and they go, I imagine that this is, typical law firm, very fancy law firm office where the doors are closed, but they're all like complete glass panels so everyone can see outside and inside. But I think Cerise has outfitted the office with like curtains of some kind to close in the event that they would require extra privacy in the office, and they kind of take these curtains and they close them so that they smiling at everyone else that might be looking at them from outside. They close the curtains and they turn around and they look at Youngchul. Do you feel better now?
About what, Shaheen?
They walk over to the desk where they left the crumpled, unfurled piece of paper, and they kind of like very pointedly kind of jab at it with a finger. You do recognize that this was stupid, right?
I mean, there's a reason that we weren't allowed to touch technology for years ago. Not that that's something we have to worry about now, but
Youngchul Shi, if you've done something this stupid, you've guaranteed to have done at least 5 other stupid things, and I would prefer if you told me right now what those were.
Okay. There's been 3 charities. There have been a couple of yacht trips that may have been written off. Like 2 yacht trips. Someone died on one of them. Covered it up.
Okay, so let's pause right there. Someone died on one of your you've got trips. Was this malicious, an accident?
It was an accident.
Or was it actually? You're not on trial for murder, and I would like to keep it that way. So
I'd
was it
also
an
love to
accident?
keep it that way. We're on the same page. This is a perfect partnership, completely.
Is this man lying? Did he kill someone on purpose?
I think the vibe is this wasn't someone he was supposed to feed until death. This was like one of the cocktail waitresses who was the cocktail.
I see. Okay. All right. And just so that we can make sure that doesn't throw a wrench into this, was that handled properly? Did you handle it or did someone else handle it?
Somebody else handled it. I'm sure I could find some records about it. Just
Yeah, I'd like to speak to whoever that was afterwards.
okay. And he gives you the number to his secretary.
And I assume that I recognize this name and number because I would
I
have
think so.
spoken to Young Chill's secretary, and Cerise just kind of like is doing their fucking damnedest not to roll their blue eyes at this man. And they kind of take it, they tuck it into the folder somewhere, and they say, okay, well, I could probably get all of this settled out of court, a settlement. Do you have a limit in terms of what you're willing to offer?
Of course not. Whatever gets me
Okay,
out of this
good.
the fastest.
Good. Might be a lot of money, given that this is an international case that you have found yourself in. So,
Yeah, that's
long
the
as
only
this
new
is
part about
everything.
it.
yeah. Maybe don't try doing new things next time. But if this is everything, if you don't have anything else to tell me, and Cerise like looks very pointedly at Youngchul.
Give me the night to remember some more stuff. I gotta call call the secretary, see what's going on. Anything I missed?
Okay. Well, once I hear from you, we can move forward with this, and it shouldn't be a problem. You shouldn't go to court.
Excellent. I look forward to working together.
I wish I could say the same. And Cerise gets up and I think like opens the curtains to the office, opens the glass door.
And as soon as you pull the curtain away, there's a face just in the window pane, and it seems to be just as someone was about to knock, it is the face of Yoon Hana, the prosecutor for this case, who seems to have some people behind her, has like files. She opens the door and just sort of goes, "Oh, were you having a meeting?"
Oh, yes, I was. You're not on my calendar.
No, we were going to. Oh, this wasn't one of just the offshoot meeting rooms.
This is my office. And I think Cerise points outside where there is like this big plaque that reads like Cerise Shaheen, like attorney at law or something like that.
That is entirely my fault. No problem. Actually, if you wouldn't mind, have you wrapped up?
I do mind.
Well, I would love to have a conversation with you before I start my next meeting and yours.
I am really busy, Hannah. I know that you wouldn't understand that given your caseload and all, but I do have a full day ahead of me. Maybe if you talk to my assistant and we could work something out for later.
Oh, I don't talk to assistants. I would really rather talk to you. I mean, and I think she like kind of leans in to you. Her hair is like bleached, sort of like blonde brunette, dewy spring makeup. I think she's wearing a fairly simple, just like black like pantsuit, but seemingly for a black pantsuit, it looks expensive, which why be boring and uncolorful? But she sort of leans into you, despite all the people around who may or may not hear. You're gonna lose this one, so.
I haven't lost a case in years. And Cerise says that loudly so that everyone can hear.
The people behind her all seem to be a bunch of catty people that Hana has collected. And they are all sort of, they, smile, murmur to each other. I'd love to get on your schedule. So if you don't mind, my apologies. I really thought it was just a random room. It's just so disorganized and barely put together.
And Cerise, I think, turns to where Youngchul has been sitting in their office this whole time. And Cerise turns to Youngchul and says, as you can see, I have a client with me, and it really isn't appropriate for you to be here at the moment.
I know. I completely agree. And I will just see you at another debriefing. Have a good one. And then just skips on out with her little group of pack of dogs.
And I think Cerise goes to their desk, and like at the intercom that is on their desk, they like press a button to speak to the secretary, and they say, make sure that Yoon Hana is never allowed to enter this building without an appointment ever again. Thanks.
Your assistant goes, what? And then that's just
Hang up. There's no follow-up.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cerise is, I think, like visibly annoyed, kind of like standing there, and sees that Youngchul has not gotten up yet and has not left, and is just going to shoot him a look. What are you still doing here?
Oh, we're done. All right, I'll see you later. And then just like puts hands in his pockets, continues to walk on the backs of his fucking shoes, and walks out.
And as Youngchul walks out, Cerise like pulls out their phone and texts Viridian. And texts Viridian, what do you know about Yoon Hana? Prosecutor, really annoying. Dresses terribly.
What do I know about Yoon Hana?
Give me something.
What do you want
Let's
from me,
see.
Joe? I'll give you
What do you want? Let me see. You can give me an intelligence or charisma, and we can do streetwise, politics, leadership.
charisma and what?
Gossip.
Yeah, I
Spice.
know. Can I have a gossip skill? Can we add a gossip
Sure.
skill to this game?
Sure.
No. So I'll roll leadership, sure, because I feel like I have like business contacts and like it applies
Yeah.
to the executive area. Okay, so I get 2 hunger dice. It's so weird using hunger dice, y'all. So weird.
I know.
Didn't have to last season. I just picked up the amount of dice that I needed.
Just killed people left and right.
I killed one person and stayed fed the whole time.
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, that's true.
Ooh, that's really good. So wait, pairs of successes gives you double success, right?
Right.
Okay, so then that's 8. I rolled 4
Holy
tens.
shit. Okay.
So I know who this is.
Absolutely you do.
Okay, what do I know about her?
I think whether or not you, have personally worked with her, she is just known as the most annoyingly persistent prosecutors who like somehow just gets all the information she needs without being shady. Just like she's like straight up, she doesn't drink, she's like a narc, she sucks, everybody hates her,
So she's a pick
but
me.
she's a pick me. She's a pick me prosecutor.
Okay.
I think her boyfriend's a cop. You know, just everything.
Boo. Can we get some boos in chat? Okay.
Boo.
Viridian sees the name and I think has to think for a moment, like, oh, who is this? And then it's sort of the thing where there's like a tickle at the back of your neck and you're like, I know this name. And once Viridian realizes who it is, I think Viridian will just text back, she's a prosecutor, incredibly annoying and very good at what she does. Send. And then Viridian says, why? With a question mark.
Cerise sees very good at her job, or like very good at what she does, and just kind of like scoffs, like, doubtful, and texts back, she is the prosecuting lawyer on the Min case I just took on.
I think Viridian sees that and I think has like a little scoff chuckle to themselves as well. And I think out loud, whatever Viridian's doing right now, Viridian, I think out loud says, Cerise, you're gonna hate her. And then text back, good luck. And I think a kiss emoji, and then more seriously texts, Hanayun is known for getting a lot of information without doing anything shady. I think Viridian says she is very good at her job. Send. And then Viridian says, but I know you'll win.
Do you tell me that she's dating a cop?
With me, the player, knows where the fuck this is going.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Nothing happened with that last season. I think Viridian knows that she's dating a cop. And I think knowing Cerise isn't going to text Cerise she's dating a cop, but we'll plan on telling you that next time we have a date, because I think we do have our weekly date nights now. That's something new.
Cerise, I think, thanks you for the information, and, you know, reciprocates with, like, I think, like, the sparkly pink heart emoji and, like, a little kiss emoji as well, and, like, sets their phone down, and it's just, I think, like, in their head, kind of just, like, going over all of that information, really annoyed that Hana is this, like, by the book kind of lawyer, because that's not why no lawyers by the book. Come on, we all know that. You're not better than everyone else. And I think it's just like annoyed and like starts working on gathering the documents necessary to work on Young Chul's case, probably next step being to call his secretary.
Incredible. Before we go on break, Cerise, any last things or thoughts?
That's all from me.
Okay. We are going to see all of you in a few minutes. Thank you so much for being a part of our multiple K-dramas at once for season 2. Come back for all of... We're doing every genre. Come back for Bad House RPG announcements, and we will see you very soon. Drink some water. Hello. Welcome back. Before we get right back into it, let's get into some announcements. This week is going to be a very exciting week for all of the penultimate episodes coming up. Bad House. Penultimate on Wednesday, the penultimate episode of Shattered Dawn. penultimate episode on Thursday of Ashes of New Amsterdam, a Mage by Night. Mages, not Mage by Night. Mage the Awakening.
Mage by Night.
Ascension, I think.
Ascension. I'm sorry.
There's too many.
Mage- the
Fabian,
Mage by
Fabian is
Night!
my friend, and I love this show. The penultimate episode this Friday of Symphony of Silos, the quest game run by Chris. Lots of wonderful things happening this week. Please go and support these shows. Okie dokie. We find ourselves now, all of our kindred. It is May. 6 months have passed, 3 months have passed, and we're now finally in the present day. We are going to center in on a scene with Viridian and Wendy now. Viridian, as you are meeting up with Wendy late at night, or rather, a vampire's sort of afternoon, where are you coming back from?
I think Viridian is coming back from a date night with Cerise. I think we went bowling at a very fancy place on suggestion of Wendy, because I think Viridian and Cerise have weekly date nights, and we switch off who picks what we're doing. And sometimes we text our Coterie group chat and we say, all right, Jet and Wendy, what should we do for date night? And then we do what they tell us. Sometimes, most of the time.
How does,
I feel like there's one.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna. I think there's maybe like one time that we vetoed a suggestion.
Yeah. Jet, how do
yeah,
you
what were you gonna
respond usually?
His regular response is, I don't know, whatever, have fun. Period. And Jet is not the type of person that uses punctuation in texts. But
Ooh.
he uses one whenever this is a question in the group chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten to the point where Cerise has seriously like had a conversation with Viridian at some point. Like, should we even ask them anymore? Like, we could just text Wendy privately. Like, I don't.
Yeah. No, I think we still ask in the group chat just because I think Viridian is not really sure what's going on between Jet and Cerise and doesn't want to make it weird, I guess. Because I think Viridian knows enough that, you know, it feels bad when you cut out one friend from the group chat. You know what I mean? Like that's weird.
Yeah, Jet, it feels bad when you cut out one friend.
Sure does. But yeah, so I think I'm coming back from bowling night. How good are you at bowling, Cerise?
So I like to think that Cerise is so competitive about literally every activity that they ever do. However, they are terrible at bowling and they refuse to acknowledge it. Like, they'll play and they'll suck and they'll blame it on literally anything else.
Do we play with bumpers or not?
No, Cerise refuses. If you bring it up, like they get so defensive and upset that you would even suggest that they need bumpers. They're like, no, I can. That's not. I can do. It's fine.
And yeah, I think Viridian's definitely like someone who, you know, we've gone bowling once before, so it's the second time. And Viridian's like, are you sure? Are you sure?
No, I
you
don't.
want
I don't
bumpers?"
need. No, you know, like I'm telling you, they didn't wax their lane properly, and all of the bulls are just swerving left. It's very strange, and I think we should talk to the owners about it, or maybe just go to a different bowling alley. But no, it.
Okay. Whatever you say, love. And we bowl. And I think Viridian wins.
Yeah.
So and I think like we have like this we rent out the place, so it's just us two, and they stay open late for us, and I think Viridian also arranges for some of their herd vessels to also attend so that we can feed in relative privacy.
Are they allowed to go bowling?
I think so. I think they're bowling on the next lane, you know?
Yeah.
I think
They're all
bowling on
doing
the-
better than Cerise, and Cerise is getting really annoyed by it.
It's
Yeah.
like their
So
one
there's just
last
these, like
bowl.
suits. Men in suits, yeah, doing
The feeding gets
Beautiful.
personal.
Yeah.
yeah. the feeding gets
Also,
personal.
They're all criminals because you only feed on
Yeah, they
corrupt
have
people.
to be really off. No. Cerise only feeds off of people that they think are morally like bad. So these are all people that
Yeah.
they hate anyway.
Yeah.
It's us
Crazy.
and cops are us on the other lane.
Cops are-
I don't know.
Okay.
That was a Survivor reference. Anyway, so I'm coming back from bowling date night, and I think I've walked Cerise to their haven, and I'm going to Wendy's haven, which is actually in the same building because Wendy has recently, within the past 6 months, been moved from the absolute hovel that you were living in prior to this very nice place that
The absolute
Viridian has-
shithole.
Yeah. And so I drop Cerise off, and I think I just tell them like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to Wendy, and then I'll be back. And I think Viridian just says like, you don't have to wait up for me if you don't want to. We kiss, and then I leave to go talk to Wendy. So now I think I'm just knocking on Wendy's door.
So hold on, I gotta do that. So Wendy now knows that Cerise and Viridian and possibly Jet, I mean Jet doesn't really matter. Jet stopped by whenever before, no big deal. But now Viridian and Cerise stop by on the regular. So last time we were in Wendy's apartment, there was stuff everywhere, and Wendy was like scrambling to like clean it up because mom was coming over, and like now Wendy uses some of their allowance basically for working for various companies, but mostly just Viridian, to hire somebody to clean for them.
Oh, so you have a real housekeeper now.
Yeah, but
Did
Wendy
you
feels
fire
so-
me?
Wendy feels so bad about it and like pays them double what they ask for every time, simply because they are like, I should be cleaning my own house, or but yeah, Cerise is not a great house cleaner, so Wendy had to find another one. But anyway, so everything's like neat, but still like the end table is like scattered with stuff, and like you can see that like where Wendy has like her piles of doom where she allows herself to
Doom
put
piles.
things into corners that like look or like don't open the doors. Like Viridian's not allowed to open anything. Just everything on
The
the
closet
surface.
stuff falls out.
Everything on the surface looks really nice because Wendy has a deal with her housekeeper that she also doesn't have to open anything. So as long as the visible vicinity is like, Korean mom worthy, Wendy is good. So.
I like to imagine there's at some point in time, Cerise needed me to grab something, and so I open a closet and there's just stuff in there.
All of Wendy's old clothes are just like piled like in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of the like Wendy from another room asks Viridian to go get something and then inwardly is like, oh fuck. No. But yes, I knock on the door.
I open the door and I say, "Oh hey, come on in, because I have a nice clean apartment now."
You liking the new place?
Yes, it's very new and very much a place. But I think I still feel weird being in it, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll adjust. I've got some stuff in here now, so that's cool. I kind of feel like I have to buy more stuff just so it doesn't look so empty, but then there's more stuff to clean. Anyway, that's not any of your problem. What's up? How was your date?
The date was quite lovely. Thank you for suggesting bowling. Cerise is getting better, I think.
At the losing or the bowling?
At the bowling, they still lost.
Yeah, I mean, progress. Did you suggest the bumpers?
I did suggest bumpers. And I think Viridian's like taking off their coat and walking in and just I think sits on whatever chair I think is available for me to sit in your living room. And says, yes, I did suggest the bumpers. Cerise was adamant that they don't need them.
Did you remind them about what happened last time?
I did.
Okay.
And they still lost to me and a bunch of cops.
And the cops.
Yeah. I think that really I think Viridian has a little bit of a smirk on their face. I think that one stung a little bit.
Yeah. No, for sure.
We had a nice feeding afterwards.
Okay, good. So they feel okay, good, man.
Yeah.
That's gotta be rough. It's okay though, bowling's it's a long game. Gotta to go a lot, and then didn't. One time I took the shoes with me by accident, and like that was really embarrassing. So,
Cerise is convinced there's some long-term strategy that they've been cooking up, kept telling me about their strategy. And I just told them, if your strategy is rolling gutter balls, then it's going quite well for you.
yeah. Well,
So, and I think Viridian has like their briefcase with them and pulls out a file folder, which has been neatly labeled. I think it just says name change documents, and places it on the coffee table. Suri's watching bowling videos in their apartment right now. Quick smash cut.
They're studying. They're getting ready
for the rematch, part 3. Smash cut back. Viridian says, well, I think I want to touch base with your name change. As you know, it's a very long process, but I've got the rest of the documents for you here, and we can go over them. It shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just grab and Wendy like goes to the fridge and pulls out one of her juice boxes and sits at the bar thing and is like, yeah, we can talk about the name change. We can go over that. That's important thing we need to do.
I think Viridian hears the change in Wendy's tone, probably a change in body posture as well. And Viridian just like lets the folder be on the coffee table and just kind of like looks at you and says, is something bothering you?
About the name? No. I just feel like you've been doing so much for me the past 6 months, and like you barely know me, honestly, and it just feels a little, I just wanna, like, what if you all go away too one day, and like what if now I was attached to those other people and those other factions for so long, and like now it's all just gone, which is great because, like, honestly, looking back at like that wasn't good. But what if we do the name change and we do the name change and then I don't know, the second Inquisitors try to come back, or the other cult coming after us, or maybe a piano falls on you. I don't know. Would that kill you? Would that do anything?
I would likely be in a lot of pain, but I don't think it would kill me. No.
Okay. I mean, you never know, you know? So like, you've done so much for me already. I'm not used to non-people, I don't know what we're called anymore, but people doing nice things for me and then not expecting things in return, and then also just kind of getting me apartments and letting me get a housekeeper so it's not messy when you come over, and all of these things, and taking care of my niece, and it's just a lot. So that's all. I'm not like changing my mind or anything. I'm just cautious.
I think as you're sort of rambling about all of your worst fears, including a piano, which, that very common situation where people have grand pianos attached with a rope or being held up by a rope that people are walking underneath, very common situation for pianos and kindred. I think Viridian stands from their seat. Fucking Looney Tunes. Stands from their seat, then documents just like forgotten on the coffee table, walks over to Wendy, and I think Viridian reaches out and places their hands on Wendy's shoulders. And Viridian says, Wendy, I'm not going anywhere. At least I don't plan to be going anywhere anytime soon. Itaewon is my home, and you are like family. And I do everything for you because I care a lot about you and your well-being. And regarding this apartment, frankly, the last place you were living in was bad. Let's keep it at that. I do this for you because I have the capital to do so, and I enjoy spending my money in this way.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's go over it. But I got you something, and Wendy like runs over to their bedside like end table, carefully fights with a drawer so that in a way that Viridian's not seeing them fight with the drawer because there's too much stuff stuffed
You're
in
like
the drawer.
standing between me and that, yeah.
And just like very carefully is like shaking the drawer to kind of like get it to open, and like rummages through some stuff as quietly as possible and pulls out like a little bracelet box, like a bracelet jewelry box, and brings it, like kind of sheepishly hands it over to Viridian. And do you open it?
Of course I open it.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, Viridian's imagine if Viridian just took it and put it in my bag and said nothing. No, Viridian's gonna open it. No, Viridian's gonna open it. I open it. What's in there?
Okay.
Word,
so in there is gold, like one of those forever bracelets, and then it just has like the coterie, like all of our names on it, but like in like, I don't know, just initials or something, so that like obviously they're not gonna know because that would be weird and dumb, and we wouldn't want to do that. Like that would not be good. So
this is so cute.
so Wendy hands it to Viridian and is like, this is a forever bracelet, we have to go get it like put on, but I got one for you and me and Cerise and Jet. And
What's a forever bracelet?
so it kind of like you have to go have them like weld it on so that
Oh,
it
like
doesn't.
forever.
Yeah.
You mean forever.
Yeah. Why is that bad?
I think Viridian's, you watch as Viridian's face changes from curiosity to sort of just a very, very soft look. I think Viridian's normal face is very intimidating and very like stone cold, but you watch as Viridian's eyes seem to melt. I think they look very softly at it and they smile and look back up at you and they say, "This is a very lovely gift, Wendy. Thank you."
Yeah, of course. I didn't know if you would like it, so I wasn't sure, but I got one for you and me, and we can all go get them. Whatever it is that they do to put them on. I mean, if you for some reason don't like it after like a year or so, I'm sure there's a way to take it off. But it's like I don't know, it's kind of cool, and all the kids at the university have them, and I thought it would just be a really cool thing. And
I think Viridian just interrupts you as you're talking, and Viridian says, "I love it, Wendy. Thank you. Gold is my color."
yeah, cool. So paperwork.
Yes, and I think Viridian will lead you back to the like living room sitting area. Sits down with you on the couch. I open the documents and I start laying all of them out. Me, the player, only has frame of reference for the name change process in the United States. I'm not sure what it's like in Korea. If it's as fucked up as the name change process in the States, then there's a fuck ton of documents and shit. So, yeah, I think I just start going through all of the different things where you have to like show proof of your birth. And I think we're talking about like, oh, we're gonna need like your birth certificate and like that sort of thing. And then I'm like going over all the other documents that we're gonna need, like driver's license, passport, all of that stuff. Basically, I think Viridian's explaining you have to prove that your like original name is your name to prove that you're that person, and then you can change it, and then you have to go change your name in all the other things like your bank and your school records and like, you know, anything you have accounts on that your old name is on. You have to eventually get through and change all of those things. So Viridian's just explaining all of this to you, and I think like after that we go back to that first document with like your birth certificate and stuff, and Viridian's starting to just like stack them all up again. I think they've marked them all with like color-coded tabs for like what order you need to do all these things in and who to send them. I think Viridian's printed out instructions for like how to actually go through this, because I think Viridian knows that Wendy needs like specific lists and like very step-by-step instructions for like how to do things. So Viridian's done all that. It's all color-coded, everything.
Yeah, and Wendy's just like taking notes like on top of like, okay, we need this, and kind of sending text to their people on like who they can get what done for them, what documents they need to like reproduce, because Wendy doesn't have those things. And then yeah, juice box. Do you want one?
Mm-hmm. No, I can't.
Right. I have a bottle, and like Wendy starts rummaging through like the cabinet, and then like opens one, and then like thinks about it, and then like doesn't open it, and then like moves to a different cabinet, and then like opens a different one to see if they have like maybe a bottle of a person lying around that they might have like the type of stuff that Viridian and Cerise like to drink.
Bottle of a person?
I have the image of like a wine bottle in my head. And like
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I imagine since y'all stop by quite often now, I imagine Wendy has some sort of like substitute that you don't
Yeah, and I
necessarily
think
like, but like will
no,
pretend
because
to
I
like
think
sometimes.
I think Viridian has told you several times that being Ventru,
Yes.
we have to drink from the source directly. We can't drink bagged blood, and because we'll just, regurgitate it. But I think Wendy, conveniently forgets that and has this, and Viridian is very like does a thing where you pretend to drink it. Just so politely, and will make any excuse to not open a bottle because like Wendy will be like, let's crack open one of these corrupt wine things, and it's like, no. Please no. It's very polite though. I think Viridian tells you these things very gently, but
Yeah. I love
um and
I'd love to. Oof. Sorry, were you gonna say something?
oh no, I think the latter half of the conversation sort of goes more into you talking about like getting these like forged documents because like you're an orphan, so you don't know
Right.
all of those things. I think you don't have a birth certificate, so we're talking about what to do about that and all of that. And I think the last shot of this scene is Viridian's very neat handwriting, having filled out some of the forms for you. Your new name, which is, if you'd like to tell everyone.
So Wendy is picking up Viridian's last name. So Wendy's gonna be Wendy Song from now on. We're so happy for her. No longer Beaver. Cutting all
No
ties
longer Beaver.
Thank God.
Fuck you, Theodore.
with the stinky white man.
Stinky white man.
Um,
And we fade out on this scene. I think there's a lingering shot of Wendy's
Beautiful.
song written on this document and bottle of people. Viridian says, I'll take this one for the road, and sticks it. And I leave, and I go back to Ceresa's place, and fade to black.
on another occasion, swinging over to a scene with Cerise and Jet. Cerise, where do we find you heading?
You hear Cerise before you see them. You hear a very purposeful click-clacking of their heels on the ground as they are moving through the office buildings where the Cleavers LLC, Leave It to Cleaver, can be found, as well as in the same building is Jet's office. Jet, Jet has been acting kind of strange towards Cerise lately, and that has made it very difficult for them to be able to talk to him about anything, and it's kind of important. So, Cerise, well, last time that they saw Wendy went through her phone and managed to find Jet's schedule and figured out that right now Jet does not have a meeting but will be at work, and, well, you can't ignore me forever. So, Cerise, I think, like walks through very purposefully through this building and finds themselves standing in front of Jet's office, just kind of straightens out their pastel pink suit, and then knocks on the door.
I think prior to that, Jet's point of view, Jet is on his phone, frustrated, and is looking at his phone screen with a wall of texts, and the recent text that he sends to a contact named Cinnabar is, don't leave me on red. I know you've seen my texts. Answer me, you asshole. And he hears the knock on the door. The knock triggers Jet's reaction to, oh, must be a pickup. And he shouts out, come in, as he's preparing bags of drugs on his desk.
Cerise opens the door and walks in.
I need you to bring these to Homo Hill and oh. I thought you were one of the runners.
I can still take your drugs over to Homo Hill if you'd like.
That's why I pay people. It's fine.
You don't have to pay me. I can do it for free.
Sure. What's up? What are you here for? And
Cerise
he
closes
turns
the door.
around and starts.
Cerise closes the door behind them and kind of like walks up towards where Jet is and just kind of like casually is like looking over what Jet is doing right now and says, "You've been avoiding me."
Have I? You also notice as you come in, there is a broken violin bow on a stand. And he's just like, didn't notice.
Cerise's hand, I think, kind of like runs along the desk and then lingers just in front of that broken bow. Well, I noticed it was very hard to find you, and we have things to talk about.
That the case? Sure. What can I help you with?
The case, sure, but Jet, come on, level with me. What's going on?
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't really notice that we weren't really talking. You've been spending a lot of time, you know. How's your boy toy, Ethan? Was it?
Ethan, Sunghyun, yeah, he's fine. Why? Are you jealous?
Me jealous? I don't know. Maybe you just upped and left after leaving me in such a state.
What state is that?
Don't play fucking boy.
Light out in the open.
You see, when you entered, Jet was in kind of just a vest. You see all his new tattoos, and you notice that there is a G-clef, there's a juice box, and next to it is a knife stabbing a heart. And you remember when he got those, he mentioned that those were each representative of the people closest to him. And he turns around. You love to leave bodies in your wake, don't you? I was just a blood bag to you.
I leave dead bodies in my wake. People who don't deserve the lives and power that they have. You, if you remember, asked me to feed from you.
I offered it as a favor because it was crucial.
You didn't have to, but you did anyway.
Because I cared. But then, this feeling just stayed. And he steps closer. This feeling where I want to rip off my skin every time I see you. With Ethan. With Viridian. And looking to myself in the mirror, thinking that I was just a plaything. Something to get you by. I might have chose to give you my blood the first time, but the second time you came to me.
And Cerise doesn't move back when Jet closes the distance between them or gets closer. They lower their voice, I think. It softens a bit at this. My bite has particular effects. I thought you knew that.
No shit. And now, all I can think of is begging you for just a nip. And it's hard. And I'm upset because it's either you want to be with me as well, or you can set me free.
It's more complicated than that, Jet. And you can set yourself free if you want to, can't you? You're not helpless. You're not some mortal.
But I'm not like you. I'm
No.
not full-blooded like you.
You
I have-
make things. You have your potions, your juice boxes that you make.
If I had,
Can't you make something to free yourself?
If I had something like that, then I would have used it both on me and Natalie. But right now, I have to rely on this gutless piece of shit that won't reply to me just to get her free. Ophelia's grasp. I have to deal with that, and I have to deal with you, and every time I see you, I get this pit in my gut, and it's so hard.
Are you telling me that you don't... that you don't want to be around me anymore?
I'm telling you that I do so bad that I just can't control myself.
No, if it weren't for this... Are you telling me that you wouldn't...
Wouldn't what?
want me in the same way? Is this all artificial to you?
You tell me. Because part of me wants it to be real, but part of me thinks that it's just a game to you.
It's complicated, Jet.
Unlife is complicated.
So, what makes this any different then?
You can make a choice. Whether you want me to, or you let me go.
And Cerise, I think, at this, does take a step back. And you can tell that there is this debate going on in their head. You're not quite sure what it is exactly that they're weighing, but it seems like it's a difficult choice for them, whatever it is. And they kind of like shake their head and they look at you and they say, "We have business. Young Chul. Min Young Chul."
Who's the
You know
case?
him,
I don't
right?
give a shit. He leans in. He is potentially going to be a problem. And I know you have your pride and your reputation. It's just hard for me to help you.
Why is he a problem? He's stupid, sure, embezzling money and not very good at covering any of it up, but it shouldn't be a problem for you. I'll take care of it.
He's going to be a problem for all of us if he gets away scot-free.
Why?
He's a Min. He's one of Ophelia's children.
He's not as smart as she was.
Exactly why he wasn't in the running for us to give him the company.
He's just a prideful, rich man. Give him some semblance of power, some fake veneer of it, and he'll be satisfied.
Well,
Do you know
hope-
something that I don't about him?
Storyteller. Is there anything
What?
that Jet... What? Why are you mad?
Just like, why are you bothering me?
Is there anything that I know, any form of dirt that I know about Yensho? Is there any way that I can check for that?
A lot of administrative scandals about mistreatment of employees, mismanagement, a lot of overtime, generally abusive workplace situations. He has veered off into many like trendy or fashionable markets, so he is currently obsessed with restaurants. But also what comes with restaurants is travel and shipping and international shipping, just as many things are. And certainly has used the wonderful services of Viridian International, Song International Shipping.
Oh.
Someone who is aware and entrenched in your spaces.
So I offer you that information, and I think I add. The thing is, I think whoever hired you, and if he did hire you on his own accord, he's setting you up for failure. Because that man is dirty. And I don't know what his plans are. But it's probably revenge for giving Hyunmi the business.
That wasn't my decision. And I mean, he sounds just like any other corporate fuck. I'd kill him if he wasn't hiring me.
Is that on the table? Because I'd help.
Maybe after I've won the case. He pays well.
Okay. Well, that's all I can give you in terms of information.
If you're so convinced that there's something more to this case, then I'll look into it. And I'll see. He doesn't make any decision of his own accord, I don't think. The secretary of his seems to have a lot of power in his decision making day to day. I'll start with them.
And Jet takes out his phone and he texts Hyunmi about maybe setting up a meeting between Cerise and Hyunmi. And Jet just looks up and is like, I can probably get you more information from one of the elder godchildren. Known him longer.
And Cerise, I think, instinctively, without thinking about it, I think lifts a hand and like touches Jet's arm along the spot where he has those tattoos of the clef, the juice box, the dagger. Thank you, Jet. I really appreciate it.
I think Jet reactively kind of holds your hand. And for a minute he thinks about it. He looks into Cerise's eyes, bites his lip, lets go. Like, is that all? And starts walking towards a spot in the office.
Yeah, I miss you.
And there's a long pause. And he just says, say hi to Ethan for me. And he just puts his hands on his waist and just doesn't even watch you walk out the office.
And Cerise walks out silently, I think, not saying anything in return. They stood there, I think, for a moment at that response, not really sure. But they think better of it, and they walk out, close the door behind them.
As you close the door, you hear a smashing sound, as if somebody's punched the wall. And I guess we fade to black on that.
Chaos in paradise.
What?
Troubles abound with the weight of responsibility for our kindred. That being said, as there seems to be unbeknownst to our kindred into the night, a firefly flies off just near the Han River, flickering its yellow light into suddenly, almost as if the firefly turns into a blue flame, sends itself into the sky. Viridian, you continue to get pressing messages from the executives. Wendy, you get a text from Samir asking for help with something. Jet, even as you've smashed your hand, unfortunately the problems don't lessen as Kyun texts you. Did we put more thought into my question? And Cerise, Ethan texts you. Can we talk? Anxiety fills the air, and that is where we will end our premiere. Okie dokie, everybody. So, closing us out now, we will be introducing ourselves again and providing plugs. I have been your storyteller. am Josephine at Scary Dog Friend. You can find me here. You can find me at Nameless Domain. We just finished a 3-part series of The Corrupted. Our friend Navarre Jackson is writing and attempting to publish very soon. Please go check out The Corrupted and support Navarre. Doing lots of other stuff. Bad House will be doing lots of projects soon, very soon for the summer. So keep your eyes peeled for our Twitter and Patreon. Babs will have more information about that in a moment. Pass it right on over to Youngles.
Hi, I'm Youngles. I play Wendy, your favorite wholesome vampire person. Goes by she, they pronoun. Wendy just wants a fam, you know?
I love Wendy!
I know. I had to throw in the Wendy, you're like family line. Had to throw it in.
You can find me at Jen Geeky on Twitter. I do lots of things across the internet, including helping spicy content creators with their spicy sites. But if you want to keep track of my TTRPG stuff, that's the best place to find me. I have a bunch of stuff coming up, but I have no idea what I'm allowed to talk about. So, that's where it'll be. And I'll pass it off to Hamna.
Hi, hello! My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me over on all of the social medias at Lilith TTRPG. Today I have been Cerise Shaheen, who uses they, them pronouns, and they are doing great, doing fine. Everything's chill.
The best bowler.
So good at bowling. Just
The best.
so
Yes.
good. So good.
Wendy got you a number one bowler mug.
Oh!
You know what? Cerise is like, Wendy understands. Wendy understands the potential that is deep within me. Yeah.
Potential! It's called positive thinking. Positive framing.
You got to dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. Anyway, yeah, I do a lot of different stuff, and I will be in a lot of different places this week. But coming up tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I will be over on TTRP GIF's channel for a panel. It is the So You Think You're Trans panel. A bunch of different trans folks will be getting together to talk about the trans experience and what it was like for us to figure all of that out and what it's like to be who we are. So if you want to hear me, an agender person, talk about what that was like for me to figure out and what it's like for me just to exist, then come listen to us talk about that. And with that, I will pass it over to Jay.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to the premiere. Wow. My name is Nala or Jay. I use they, them pronouns. I am on Twitter at NalaWoo and at NalaDraws if you want to see my art. I am also on every other social media that I want you to find me on as at NalaDraws. This includes TikTok. I have made some videos for Viridian, which I'll be posting somewhat soon. I don't know. One of them's a thirst trap. We'll see what happens. Anyway, what else is there? There's something coming up but I don't know if I can say it yet. So I'm in some new APs coming out soon, some short form stuff. One for AAPI month and one's coming up in June for Pride. Very excited about both of those things. If you want to stay up to date with all the stuff that I'm doing, you can follow my Twitter. What else? I don't know. I do actual play performance besides my art stuff, and I don't know. I'm feeling good. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I had to say, but I don't think so. So I'll throw it to Oh, if you haven't watched the season 1 recap, I edited that. And it's pretty funny. Go watch our recap video. I'm biased, but I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, I want to throw it to Fabs.
Hello. I've been Jet. My name is Fabs. You can find my comic stuff on Rockets and Pens, and you can find my TTRPG stuff here at Bad House RPG. Tomorrow, penultimate episode of Shattered Dawn, where I play Badger, a soft boy who cries a lot. And on Thursday, also penultimate episode of the in-universe Mage the Ascension game, Ashes of New Amsterdam, where I'll be the storyteller. Yeah, check us out on Twitter, Badhouse RPG. Check us out on our Discord. Join the discussions about all of our shows, and we have fun there. You can talk to the cast and stuff. And we have Patreon where you can get free games. Right now we have a free copy of Mage the Resurgence, which is the V5 hack that we created for Ashes of New Amsterdam. We have Jet's cookbook, and soon enough we'll be releasing Itaewon By Night supplement of the setting. So if you want to play alongside your favorite kindred over here, then check that out. Give us a follow or give us a few dollars, and we'll give you fun stuff. And all proceeds go to supporting the channel, paying for everything, and yeah, that's pretty much me. I'm gonna throw it back to Joe for the
Jay, can you do you mind?
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, to do our sign out.
Yeah,
We'll have
we're gonna raid Stella Luna.
Definitely, yes.
We'll have a guest next
me,
week.
the storyteller.
It's Jay.
Ooh.
No, we're gonna have a guest next week. The wonderful
yeah.
Liz at the Mulan Rogue will be joining us as an NPC that you will find out when you come back next week.
Oh yeah.
Bye.
Bye.